All right, hello, everyone. Welcome. This is our Dungeons and Dragons game. It's been a little bit. I haven't played in a while.
You should make a theme song.
What was the date of our last?
It was
session?
October 21st or something.
Oh, so nothing has happened since then.
What do you mean? Like, what do you? Oh, you're being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
In this world that the game takes place in.
which is our world. Thank you for the segue. This is a Curse of Strahd campaign called What Rough Beast, playing 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and the campaign. How did they get away for so long with calling it Dungeons and Dragons? Just like a terrible thing to say. You know, it's just like has no bounce or rhythm to it. It's
Because you can say D&D.
That's right.
Yeah.
5th edition D&D, taking place in a historical fiction setting in the late 16th century in our world. This world, in your universe most likely, and to level set, it's the universe where Platypus has a unsoothable poisonous effect on humans.
40 different kinds of toxin in the venom.
Something like
So many
80.
kinds
So
of
lots of
toxins.
toxins.
80.
Yeah.
Lots of toxins. Morphine doesn't work.
Lots
Months and
of
months,
toxins.
years and years of pain.
And
So you're saying there's an untapped market if we develop a platypus morphine that works for that.
that's right.
What's funny is, could you
Changed
make
my
a
life
platypus
course.
morphine, but then that wouldn't work on any other pain? So it's like people would just take it and it just wouldn't do anything.
I thought you were going to say, you know what's funny is years of pain.
I mean,
Hilarious.
I always
on the
keep
perspective, you know.
I always keep my morphine and my platypus morphine.
Yeah.
You know?
You need the both. So when we... By the way, I'm Eugene. I'm the Dungeon Master. My pronouns are he, him.
Alec, he, him. I am playing Eric, the sad boy, using the talent class from MCDM, which is a psionic class.
I'm Li Shen, she, her, and I am playing Lady Lon, and this is Bartholomew, a platypus.
I am Nick. I am playing Father Esquivel, and my pronouns are he, him.
I'm Lore. I'm playing Rowan Domnelich, a Circle of Stars druid, very much a druid in the like kind of Wicker Man Midsummer sort of sense. My pronouns are they, them, and he, him.
It is very much that. Very Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Before we move on, should we establish whether or not there is sound and you do not sound like
A robot?
a robot?
Yes.
Is anyone watching?
If anyone is watching, you just let us know if there is sound and if I sound like a robot. Right
I could
now.
turn it on my phone.
I've got it.
Tell us if we're normal.
I think we are. I checked
sound
the
great.
levels.
Yeah, you
I
sound
checked
normal.
everything. I've checked everything. But
Positivity bot, unfortunately, cannot tell you
not
how
this
you
time.
sound.
Let's learn a little bit more about the characters in our patented intro video.
Not much is known about the sharp-featured androgynous figure come to Barovia in a high-coloured violet coat with closely shorn hair. Rowan Domnelich makes himself of use to the nobles they travel with, entertaining with a classic tune and his high ethereal voice, not to mention a good bit of gossip with the ladies of the court. Rowan may well imitate the aloof manner of a courtier, but just beneath a practiced facade of calm rages a great anger. And there's something else about them too, something unsettling, ancient, and cold.
Father Esquivel is an ordained priest, sent far from home on missionary work. Though his vestments are threadbare, his hygiene limited, and his ecclesiastical knowledge a bit lacking. He is empathetic and friendly enough. He's on the younger side for a priest, but whatever his life before the cloth, it must weigh on him heavily, for physically he seems aged well beyond his years. He claims to be happy in company and sharing the difficulties of the road, but you might get the sense his smile is feigned.
Even while petting her ornery pet Pekingese Monto, Lady Lan never smiles. A severe Chinese lady dressed in elaborate silks and other finery, Lady Lan never seems to have a hair or jewel out of place. Despite having traveled many months through the deserts of the Silk Road and faced all manner of challenges, you will never see her with a smudge in her makeup. And yet, anyone who spends enough time with her will notice an anger glimmering behind this otherwise impenetrable exterior. Something must give.
Like all-time favorite fictional character, and it like fucked with me a disconcerting amount when this happened in the story. I like talked to my therapist about it.
Oh, oops.
Oh,
Wait, sorry. Who's a sphere?
Vax from Critical Role.
I didn't know. I need to do season 1. I haven't done that.
Ooh, well, you can watch the animated series, which is really fun.
Does it actually follow the story?
Twitch gives ads on
For the first season, it's very, very close. It starts to get
Not on
further
mine,
away.
maybe just on the
But it's really good. You
iPad?
should check it out.
Maybe it's worth it. Twitch does have ads on the side occasionally.
It's never happened to me before.
Okay, so we're back with our very fun and very festive squad on this upcoming Thanksgiving week. It's an American Thanksgiving this week, a truly American Thanksgiving.
Don't know what we're thankful for.
Yeah, it's rough out there to be thankful these days. We're doing our best.
This whole Strahd campaign is an allegory to current times.
It's true. Strahd is a fascist. I'll just tell you right straight off.
Yeah.
As you're about to find out.
At least he's hot, though.
Oh no, we're about to find out.
You're about to find out because if you recall, you were talking to him last time.
That's
about
true.
to, at least.
I didn't really internalize that was him because in my mind he looked different than that.
Well, but I think the issue was I described 2 people to you, and I think that you were thinking that he was the first one. What did you think Strahd looked like?
His rider, or what was the guy?
Escher, who had been inquired after by Doru.
No, I think I just had an image of him in my mind.
Well, I'm sorry, but what were you picturing? Were you not picturing classic vampire?
I was picturing classic vampire, but not like Asterian style vampire. More like
Oh, yeah.
Very old.
I was
Nosferatu like vampire?
yeah, more Nosferatu,
Like long fingers,
dark
very
hair,
too tall.
you know,
Big bun hair.
Yeah.
a little count, from Sesame Street.
He's a little count from Sesame Street. He's just very handsome.
You don't think the Count's very handsome from Sesame Street?
Who's the hottest Muppet? Or
Grover.
person on
Eugene
Grover.
does.
It's
People,
one of the ones
people
in the
do
van.
say that the Count is Eugene's
Yeah,
celebrity doppelganger.
Lexi sort of coined that I look like the Count.
Oh, I remember that.
Do I?
Yeah, kind of. I don't think I was around for this, but that
That's a
makes
funny.
sense.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing to say.
I think I might look a bit like the Count. It's fine. I don't mind. Before we begin, though, I think that probably today you guys will encounter one of the sort of signatures of a Curse of Strahd campaign. Well, actually, I know that you will because you'll be starting off by talking to Strahd, which probably is the signature. But another signature is a Taroka deck reading, very similar to tarot, and it randomizes what may happen.
Oh, cool.
And in order to facilitate this, I had to kind of learn what these things all mean, because anything could happen. So,
Did you
first,
use my tarot deck?
No,
It's
Is,
Taroka.
is it like, yeah, is it like 1-to-1 with
I think so. You tell me
Tarot deck?
if you know
Ooh.
the art of tarot.
cool.
I do.
So I'm going to first ask you to
Oh.
take these, and you can each shuffle them. How about that?
And take one or just shuffle them?
You start shuffling.
Okay.
Yeah, start shuffling.
Is this related?
It is related.
Okay.
Yeah,
I should leave it where it is.
you can leave
Split
it where
the deck,
it is.
Bartholomew. All right, good job.
Put your intentions into the deck,
Yeah.
Bartholomew.
Put no venom on the deck, please.
Leave the
We
venom
have
out.
nothing to treat it with.
Not yet.
Boy. All right, I can't shuffle these in the traditional way.
You wanted to like do a bridge.
Yeah, I was going to.
It's
but
too hard,
it's
they're too big.
They're too big.
I also had to get 2 of these boxes because
That's cool.
the first one
Cool box.
it barely fit in,
Ooh, dang.
and then it made it so that I put the whole deck in, and then couldn't
God
get it
forbid
out.
you look for a box amongst all the boxes that we already have.
It's got to look like that.
You think that we already have a bunch of boxes that are like this?
Yeah, I can already think of one that you look at every day in the
Which?
bedroom.
Oh yeah. That's true. Okay, but name 2.
If it makes you feel any better, I bought a replacement TV remote, and literally the minute I got it synced with the TV, I turned around and found the other remote.
Yeah.
Ain't it just that way?
Yep.
This is why I always buy just 3 or 4 TV
My
remotes.
son too.
Put them around.
It's
Yeah.
true,
And-
yeah.
Yeah.
One of them has a like little beeping like find me function too.
Oh, that's-
which
You
is
buy
helpful.
replacement remotes, I just throw the TV out.
Why don't you buy a new
That is
TV?
what Eugene would do, actually.
Well, okay. If it so happened that I got into a situation where the TV was so old and I lost the remote, then maybe I would consider that it's time to get rid of the TV.
Every time we have moved, there has been some reason why the TV that we have in the old place isn't going to work in the new place. And then we get a new TV and it
That's
gets
great.
bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. When we met, I had a 13-inch
happen.
television.
The TV now is pretty
And now the TV is like,
incredible.
13 it. I mean, they're
No, that can't be 13 inches.
That's like-
laptops are
That's
bigger
like the
than,
iPad.
Yeah, my first laptop
it was like pretty
bigger than that.
pretty small. Remember?
Nah.
I refuse.
Don't remember.
Whatever it was like the smallest TV that you could have.
I feel like I had one that was like about that big in my room when I was like in high school.
You know, it was like one of these like early flat screen ones.
Like you can put it, you would put it on like half of a dresser.
Yeah.
In,
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I was really taking their time.
I'm taking
Maybe
this
that's
really
normal. We're not
seriously.
classist here if you have that size of a TV. You know.
Yeah. In fact, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm jealous.
Thank you. Into the
For
box they
Eugene's
go.
retro gaming setup, I'm sure he'll.
And
You gotta get a CRT for the retro gaming. Otherwise, they don't even.
Yeah, I know.
don't worry, it's gonna happen. I just have to find the right one. Okay, so when last we left these unlikely heroes, you bade farewell to the village of Barovia, in these lands of Barovia, where you spent a harrowing night fighting off undead hordes sent apparently by the lord of these lands, one Baron Strahd von Zarevich, in a show of sort of wicked discipline, because he was getting revenge on this this attack on his castle. And his seat of power, Castle Ravenloft, looms literally and figuratively dark and imposing over the village of Barovia itself. You began the morning after that with a journey to the church to bring the body of the burgomaster for interment with his son, the new burgomaster, and also with his daughter, Irina. There you encountered Father Donovich, who had apparently lost his faith and his ability to perform the funerary rites. Once he saw his son, Doru, return from that ill-fated foray to Ravenloft. Doru returned as a vampire spawn, and while Doru tried to prove to you and to himself and to his father that his sanguinary thirst could be contained, his trial failed, and he asked, therefore, that you grant him a swift death. You obliged. Shortly after that, you left the village with Irina Kolyanova in tow on a journey to escort her to the larger town of Valaki, whose walls could keep you and hopefully her safe. While you figured out, how to escape this land and its enveloping mists. On the way, you recovered a treasure cache left by a contact of Doru's. Maybe this this scholar, this traveler who accompanied him to the castle. And you found in it an odd artifact, a turban that can change your appearance. After you lured some zombified villagers away from it. And then finally you arrived at the crossroads of the river of Aulus, with one path leading toward the nearby Terpool encampment of Vistani, and another toward Valaki, which was still more than a day away. At the Terpool, you anticipate a reading from Madame Ava, a renowned seer who might have some information from, according to Ismark, about how you might proceed and reckon with your predicament. After taking in the ill omen of the Crossroads gallows, you were ready to set off before your path was blocked by this black carriage and its inhabitant, who apparently is Strahd himself. He comes up to you now and says, "Good day. I am Count Strahd von Zarevich, and it is a pleasure to finally meet the newcomers I have heard so much about. My friends have told me very much about you," and he looks you over like some animal caught in a trap. And Irina told you not to look in his eyes, but he makes it very difficult. Have you anything to say?
I think Father Esquivel's throat is very dry, and he says, well, it's a pleasure to meet you as well. We hope we found you on under a favorable sign.
Father Esquivel, I am sorry to interrupt, but could you please, in my lands at the very least, address me as Lord? It is not too much to ask.
Very well, Lord Strahd.
Thank you. Very polite. I address you by your title, of course.
Certainly.
In the awkward silence, Eric just gives a bow.
Young Eric, I hear you've been sampling the local victuals.
Victual.
The pies.
Pies, yes. Yes, Lord. The pies they're wonderful victuals in your
Be careful, they are
lands.
dangerously delicious.
Thank you. I will. Be careful.
And I hope you may find what you're seeking here.
Oh. Thank you. That is kind of you.
Kind of me.
Kind of you to wish.
And you are addressing...
Lord.
Thank you.
Lady Lon sort of like extends her hand out to him, but in a way that has her claws, like as if like kiss my hand, but the claws are extended, and she sort of doesn't look in his eyes, but she looks like above his eyes, as if he should bow to her.
He extends his own hand, and with a flourish, you can see he's got some long reddish claws as well. Just very long nails. And he takes your hand and gives it a kiss. I hear you've come a long way. I am fond of my pets. And he looks over his shoulder, and you see around the carriage come 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. Enormous, slobbering wolves that stand at shoulder height to a adult.
We recognize these, don't we?
No, these are much bigger than the ones
Oh.
you've seen before. I am sorry to hear that yours was lost. I do hope you can find it. These woods hide all manner of challenges for canids.
I will. Thank you.
And he gives your hand a kiss. Anyway, Father Esquivel, I'm sorry. I was a bit distracted. Novelty is scarce in my life.
Please, take your time, Lord Strahd. I personally, at least, I don't want to speak for everyone here, but can't imagine there was any more that you had specifically to say to us that you didn't with the guests that you sent to the village the other night. That seemed to be a rather clear missive.
Well, you will forgive the bloodshed that you witnessed, but what is a lord to do? I cannot allow some ungrateful insurgents to run roughshod over my lands. It's a common practice, and I shall say I'm quite a bit more merciful than some of the others in the neighboring lands. Wouldn't you agree?
I have no I don't know what he means by that.
Well, surely through your travels you've seen cruelty of all kinds.
I should say so.
Some liege lords are much less accommodating than I can be. At times. After all, you've spoken with Rahadin. You know that no more harm shall befall the village, should they stay in line. It is my prerogative as lord of these lands to discipline my children.
Is that what brings you here?
That is a long story. But I'm glad that what brought you here, your need to preach and proselytize, is going to be keenly felt by these people who have a need for spiritual balm. You will find that in my lands, the free exercise of religion and toleration of esoteric practices of all kinds is a hallmark. Though I must ask, where Where is your traveling companion?
We became separated.
That must be very hard for you.
I regret parting with him deeply.
After so long on the road, you must have felt a keen bond.
There were many things we agreed on, and many we saw differently, but we respected each other as colleagues, and I hope to be reunited with him at some point.
Yes, I rather hope the same for you. After all, when you go through so much hardship, the disagreements aside, with someone, a traveling companion like that, it's easy to become very close, almost like you're bound, you're stitched together in a way. Figuratively.
Certainly, my Lord Strahd.
Damnaluk, right?
Aye, Lord.
And how are you finding my lands on this visit?
Frankly, I'm relieved to still be finding them at all. It's a harsh land, to be sure, but many would say that of where I'm from as well. Your people are strong.
Well, I do think that's a fair assessment on your first time here. It must feel so foreign, so different. I'd like to think you get used to it, and I hope that's true, because nobody ever leaves. Well, not people like you anyway. Not usually.
People like us, are there types of people that can leave?
Some of the Vistani have an understanding, and they can come and go, and yet they do not choose to leave, at least not for long. But I digress. At your invitation. Nevertheless, I am glad to hear that the first impression that we're making is not overly onerous.
Oh, certainly. Lovely, lovely first impression on this, my first visit here.
And you, like Lady Lan, have misplaced some of your friends.
Well, I suppose the ones that we didn't find slain are misplaced, so yes.
Well, that makes at least 3 of you.
Not sure I'd call them friends, but
I know the types.
companions, nonetheless. Employers of a sort.
Well, now you're bound to no one.
Free agent once again.
That's right.
Suppose I have you to thank for that.
Me? What would make you say that?
Well, we woke up to the welcome sight of some wolves that kindly showed us to the gates, as it were. Figure those wolves as pretty much everything else here that we've seen, all answer to you.
Not directly. There are many wolves here. We have a surplus of these fine creatures. I have some dominion over their actions, but they can be enthusiastic, and I can't be everywhere at once.
Very fair.
Then you're not as strong of a ruler as you claim. If creatures in your land roam free.
I provide freedom to these creatures. One of the benefits of serving an enlightened ruler such as me. It's a balance we've struck over a long period of my benevolent rule.
I'm familiar with this kind of balance.
It's a delicate thing, but once you've achieved it, it's difficult to give up. On both sides of the ledger.
So you say.
Sounds like a great deal.
It very much is. Since we've met here so fortuitously, I'm eager to hear your outsider's perspective on some questions that have been occurring to me. You will not deny your lord. First, Ismark Kolyanovich, your friend from the village. He is the new burgomaster. And while I have no desire, nor any justification, to further punish his subjects, he himself is a different story. He abetted the insurrectionists. He allowed them to take shelter in the town, despite what they did to me. Should I punish him? And Irina looks away, cursing under her breath.
You will do as you want to do. Why ask us?
I am eager to take your measure. And what sort of ruler would I be if I failed to listen to the opinions of my subjects? On occasion, they're correct.
I would say that it seems that Ismark has the same line of thinking. I think he's only trying to act on the wants of the most vocal members of his community.
Does he deserve correction in this regard? Do you believe he is acting correctly? Very wise for such a small thing.
I heard in our short time in town he seems to be acting upon the wishes of the community, but I can't speak to it being
The Grove fireworks. Late though. I thought they were supposed to be at 7. They're happening late.
I know nothing of government or leadership, so
Well, why would you? You're
can't speak
but a child.
to whether this is the correct course of action. I couldn't say.
Well, let me reassure you that I will only do what's fair with regard to Ismark the Lesser. Now, what of your companion, Irina? And again, she sort of turns the other way as he lifts a hand to her chin. I have claimed her as my own. This is my right. An existence with me in Ravenloft is not such a terrible thing. He smiles weakly. And yet she refuses. Why should I not exercise my right
What gives
to
you
bring
this
her
right?
with me? All of my subjects are my responsibility, but also my property. I own them as I own, and he grabs a handful of dirt, as I own this, and scatters it to the wind as he holds out his hand behind him. Escher comes up and brushes it off with a handkerchief.
I know little of companionship, but I should think that first and foremost, a quality one would desire in such a partner would be that they desire to be with you as well. And why not? I'm sure there are many other suitable mates. Why not? Why Arena specifically? Why not?
Well, there
anyone else
are.
You might choose from.
There are many mates that suit me well. He turns and smiles and winks at Escher, who smiles and winks back. But 2 points in response to yours. First, she is special for reasons that you cannot begin to understand. Second, at this point, is it not a matter of my dignity? I have commanded, and she has refused, haven't you? What think you, Damnalek?
I think that it's only right and natural for a person to want their freedom, and I think that given what the way you have chosen to enforce your rule over those Irina calls family, I think that's punishment enough. And I think if you intend for her to be your companion for a long time, which, regardless of what I or any of my companions think about it, I don't believe it's a thing we can dissuade you from. But I think that if you want companionship with her, it is a poor idea to punish her for wanting to be free.
He smiles. Very well. I shall leave her with you, at least as far as Vallaki. This much I can promise. And fear not, I am no liar. We both know deception is for those who don't have the power to enforce their will and their word. Finally, I'll ask this. Many years ago, a disgusting, wretched man came here. Treacherous. Learned what he could about me, only to try to destroy me. He came back recently, and I purged him from my realm. You have come here, wandered into a little habitation that provided some great value to me. Haphazardly, maybe, but they brought me important subjects on occasion. And now that is no longer because of your actions. Why should I not punish you?
Well,
Irina speaks up at this. Because, Strahd, they have not broken your rules. They have done no direct harm to you. They didn't know, and it's only fair, as your subjects, that you allow them this one unknown indiscretion. And he turns and says, Yes, I suppose you're right. But now, I must bid you farewell. And before that, I would like to make sure we are properly introduced. Everybody roll a will save.
A will save.
Charisma save.
We're all great at charisma, I'm sure.
Oh, darn.
Key, 11.
Straight roll for me, fam.
3.
8.
Ooh, it's a 5.
Laura and I are not doing so great today. So,
The Rizless.
yeah. Even though I have +1, but that just shows you I rolled a 2. So now it's 3.
He turns first to Rowan, and as he looks in your eyes, you feel a great sense of calm and trust in him. And he sort of tilts your head as he regards your face, and he smiles. And you can see that behind that smile now is a set of growing canine teeth. And he sticks them into the side of your neck.
Oh no!
You hardly feel any pain. And he wipes his lip and moves on to Father Esquivel and does the same. And you, as he does it, you feel warm and comforted. Then he turns to Eric. He has to sort of picks Eric up, gently, kind of embracing Eric, holds him up, and then gives a quick bite. And finally to Lady Lon. And as he pulls away from Lady Lon, he says, "You? Tatiana? No. I don't. Well, this is interesting. I'll see you very soon." And once he turns around and starts walking back to his carriage, the fog clears just as surely as the mist ahead of you closes around him, and you understand now what has happened and feel a lot of resentment toward Strahd von Zarevich.
Fuck that guy.
Is everyone okay? Is anyone still bleeding?
The wounds have closed up nicely.
Can we get a pie?
What up, Cassie?
Something tells me you should not be eating this pie any further, and it's mystery meat.
Yeah, he spoke rather ominously about those pies. Don't think they're the most dangerous thing we've come up against by any stretch, but
The clopping of the carriage is now far off in the distance, so far that you can't hear it.
He didn't bite Irina, right?
He didn't. She turns to you and says, I'm so sorry. That, unfortunately, was probably going to happen sooner than later anyway.
I don't believe, and I think you know this too, but I don't think there's anything that you could have done to prevent that from happening. There's no reason for you to apologize.
Lady Lon, I'm afraid that this bodes particularly ill for you.
How so?
Well, I had wondered why he kept referring to me by that name. And now he's called you that. And I don't think it will be too long before you see him next.
If he plans to claim me as his property, he will be sorely disappointed. It has not gone well for other men who have claimed that. So let him try.
Well, I hope you're right. I do.
Oh, I am. Lady Lon kind of like,
I hope not to see him again.
I'm sorry, Eric, but he tends to turn up when you least want it. Well, shall we... It's darkening, and cold. Shall we go to the camp?
Lady Lon's like already walking towards the camp.
What kind of welcome should we expect?
They tend to be kind. They regard themselves as visitors in a way, so they treat visitors well. They do not like to be insulted. But who does?
Fair.
Well, I do not like having my companion stolen, so.
Lady Lon is like yelling by her standards.
I'm hysterical.
Maybe be direct when you see them. They appreciate that. And
Lady Lon's like, nobody has ever told her to be more direct.
you
Interesting. How would I do this?
More direct.
as you are walking down the road, you have about a half hour, according to Irina, and all of a sudden, just spiraling down to a plop in front of you. It's hard to say what it is at first. Right at your feet in the middle of the road. And then you notice it is a raven with blue-tipped wings, which looks very similar to, if not identical to, the one that you encountered a few times in the village of Barovia. And what's more, it looks severely injured with a bunch of these silver barbs sticking out of it all over the place.
Rowan's definitely gonna like walk up and check that out. Just thinking it's like an injured animal that needs help.
So you pick it up and roll a dexterity check.
Oh, come on, Face ID. What are you doing?
That was sort of short fireworks.
Yeah, it was very short fireworks at the Grove. Oh no, Cassie will triangulate our position and spot exactly where we are.
Dexterity.
Yes.
That's a 6.
You
5.
you
It's okay,
get
we're off to a slow start. It's
Roll
fine.
another 5.
Fine.
you get pricked by a few of these silver barbs in your hand just for 1 damage. But you do notice they are super sharp. And the raven is like barely moving, kind of writhing.
Can I cast Cure Wounds on the Raven?
Yes.
Gotta remember how exactly that works. I think it's 2d8. Yes, 2d8 plus 3 because of my subclass. I mean, how much HP can a Raven have? 6 plus 7 is 13 plus
Damn.
3.
This raven's gonna be like the rock after.
Raven's fucking jack.
So
Yeah.
16 total. I mean,
Okay, so as you lay hands on this bird, it starts hurriedly, angrily pecking the little barbs out with its mouth and sort of spitting them on the ground. And it looks to be much better. And it sort of, thank you, like comes out of its
How do you like that?
out of its mouth. And just as you are looking down at it, sort of regarding it curiously, it also makes the sound of like some coins jingling. Like it's like, thank you, jingle, jingle. Thank you, jingle, jingle, jingle. You hear this horrendous shriek from the sky. And barreling down at you is a large, almost man-sized, it looks like a scarecrow at first, and you can see that it's made from these sticks and stitched burlap, and it's got the kind of mask of an owl that you think is kind of painted on from some sort of gourd or something, and in tow are a few other much smaller creatures that also look like they're just bundles of sticks and cord and felt material, but all of them have these interlaced with the feathers that are stuck into them are all these silvery barbs, and they are just barreling for you. And everyone roll initiative.
Oh gosh.
12.
All right.
Oh wait, no, sorry, 15.
Come on. Don't got it up. Oh my god.
11.
Did you roll 5?
No. Rolled a 3.
Oh,
For a total of 4.
well,
My initiative is 4.
25.
Someone
I
pumped
rolled a
up.
19 and I have the alert.
Damn.
Okay,
That is dope.
let me set where this greater Strix and its little bird friends are, followed by you guys. What's the marching order?
Well, I'm last, almost certainly.
I guess I would be up front. I have good perception, so
I would be close to the front, yeah.
Back.
Wait, is it a turkey?
Marching order, not initiative.
Not totally.
No,
Is
it's
this a Thanksgiving themed?
no, it's like it's almost like an owl scarecrow.
From here, it looks like a turkey.
He approaches us and
you know
says,
the
Eric, being cowardly and having the alert feat, is going to swap his initiative with Rowan.
"Oh shit! Damn."
What was yours?
4.
Now yours is 26. 25.
45.
25.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It's more than my hit points. It's amazing. That is clutch. Thank you, dude.
And
And
then
I
what?
do that with a willing ally. So if I do say that again and you don't want to do it, just tell me.
Father Esquivel,
11.
Lady Lon.
What, my initiative?
Yeah.
15.
Okay. First up, of course, is Rowan, followed by whatever this thing is.
Go, 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 go.
Dear Lord.
Lady Lon, Father Esquivel, the other smaller birds, and then Eric. So, Rowan, you're up first.
We have... Yeah, we've long rested since our last encounter.
Yeah, you should be at full.
Yes.
Yeah, should have hit that button. Tight. So I think what I'm going to do is... Sorry, wasn't expecting to be first.
That makes sense.
I'm just gonna hit this guy with a guiding bolt. First level guiding bolt.
Okay.
So I am gonna roll. Come on, dice.
It's like he's hitting a drum.
Redeem yourself. God damn. 13 to hit.
The bolt sails past the Strix as
Is
it...
that an attack roll? I'm going to use, again, as a reaction, attempt to manifest the psionic ability again. And I do, but I also take on
some strain.
Some strain.
Strain.
So you get to reroll the attack.
Jesus.
Must use the new roll.
Alright, well, I'm gonna use a different fucking die.
Yeah, you better use a different one.
That die is on probation.
I have to take on 2 strain.
Oof, that's a nosebleed for my dude. And what'd you get? Better or worse?
Worse.
Oh, no.
Hey.
It's an 8. I
Yeah.
rolled a 3 on this dice now.
Oh, okay.
So you feel that you've been given this like burst of mental acuity, but you send another
a second chance.
bolt sailing with that. Anything else? Bonus action?
Yeah, like, why the hell not? I'm gonna hit it with the Starry Wisp cantrip for my, bonus action.
Okay, well, what's that do?
Like a ranged spell attack. On Labradorite.
It's a bonus action? That's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty... Oh, wait, hold on.
Is that only when you're in star form?
Yeah, it's only a bonus action when I'm in starry form, so I actually can't do that right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast Shillelagh on my staff.
Okay.
And then that's it for my turn.
So your staff gets all viney and it's like it does the Popeye.
It's Shillelagh.
So basically, this thing like emits another screech like and unfurls its wings, and you can see these barbs hanging off of its feathers, and they just start to shoot out at 3 different targets: Lady Lon, Father Esquivel, and Rowan. That is a 15. Does that hit anybody?
It's 15 against everyone.
Yeah.
Misses me. I'm 16.
I am 15 exactly.
Hits me.
Okay. And that means that it does 10 damage to each of you.
Oh my god.
Holy
Oh, so if
fuck.
it's exactly your armor, it still hits.
Yes.
15.
But also if it's exactly their armor, it hits.
You said 15 damage.
That's right.
10 damage.
10.
So, sorry, 10. Yes, 10. Thank you. And then it flies back into the air.
Great.
A little bit higher up from the road. Next up is Lady Lon, and then Father Esquivel.
So this creature is flying above me?
It is flying above you.
How far away is it?
It is 40 feet in the air.
Okay. Alright. I am going to... Alright, I think I'm just going to I'm going to approach it so that I am 20 feet away
Okay.
from it. And then I'm going to throw my dart.
Yep.
12.
Okay. That is a miss.
Okay. And that is my turn.
Okay. Father Esquivel.
I am going to look up at this creature, and I'm going to command it, cast the spell Command, and command it to, I guess the change they made in 2014 is that you can't customize it, you can only do the ones that are like listed on a card, you can't like make up your own command. But I'm going to command it to grovel, meaning that should this succeed, it'll fall prone and end its turn.
Okay. What's the DC?
It is a wisdom save against 14.
Okay. So this thing, you speak this word in I assume it's like a loud, almost supernatural voice.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, the Strix comes crashing down on the ground in a sort of kneeling position, looking to you.
I think it's follow the command on its next turn.
Okay. Well, that's what it will do.
It doesn't
on
like take it out of initiative.
Okay, got it. Well, then on its next turn, that is what it will do. Can it do anything else?
No, and then end its turn.
Okay. Wow. Very well. So you resolve the roll now, and then...
On its next turn, it falls prone.
Okay, so for now, it's still in the air.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Do I have any bonus actions? I don't think so. No. Going to. Nope, that's it. I'm done.
Okay. Next, the makeshift ravens fly toward you, Father Esquivel, and swarm, pecking all around you. 17 to hit.
Hits.
And they do 4 damage.
Alright.
Next up will be Irina, and then Eric. So Irina, for her part, runs over to you, Father Esquivel, and starts to swat away the birds as well. And that is a help action, so you get a bonus to your... you get advantage on your next attack roll against the birds. And she also tries to kind of quixotically like stab at them with her rapier, but let's see if she manages to do anything here. She doesn't, so her rapier misses with every stab. Eric, your turn. And then Rowan again.
Eric, looking at the floating or the hovering Strix, just points at it and kind of gives a yell, ah! And casts Hex as a bonus action.
Okay.
So I choose dexterity checks. It will have disadvantage on.
Okay.
And I will deal an extra d6 necrotic damage if I hit it. And then
We'll put this
keeping that
hex ring on it.
keeping that point going, a beam of purple psionic energy shoots out of his hand. And
Okay.
there's a psionic bolt at it.
Nice. Okay. What is
It's
the...
a ranged attack.
Yep. What are we hitting it with?
Ooh, that's a 17. This is looking good.
That's a hit.
I didn't even add my bonus yet. So it's more than 17. Okay. So that's a d6 force damage. Um, 4 plus another 6 necrotic.
Okay.
6, and I'm going to if they're larger or smaller, they're pushed 5 feet away.
So 4, and they're pushed by...
6 damage.
6, and they're pushed...
4 force damage and 2 necrotic damage,
Okay.
and pushed
Cool.
5 feet away.
Pushed 5 feet away. Got it. Okay. Next up is Rowan.
Tight. So I'm going to use one of my wild shape charges.
I'm also going to move closer back to Ron.
Oh,
near
yes.
where Ron is.
Okay. Wild shape charge.
Yar. Except I'm going to use this for starry form.
Okay.
I'm going to use the form of the chalice, and which allows me to an additional heal whenever I cast a healing spell.
Okay.
So I'm going to move up. I want to try to get within 10 feet of both the burbs and the Strix, if that's possible.
Sorry, I pushed it.
You can't get within 10 feet of the Strix yet because it's so high in the air.
Oh, okay, that's a bummer. Well, yeah, close. If I can get within 10 feet of the other birds, then
Okay.
that'll do just fine. So I've used my bonus action for starry form. So now what I'm going to do is cast Wither and Bloom.
Ooh. That's fun in this forest type of environment.
Yeah, it's cool. The flavor for it is awesome.
Yeah.
It's not like the most amazing spell of ever, but it can be really clutch sometimes. So, in a 10-foot radius, I want to try to hit all of the birds
Yep.
that I possibly can. They all have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. They
Against
failed,
13.
for sure.
Oh, tight. So they are all going to take 3 damage.
Okay, hey, that's not nothing. That's not
That's
nothing.
not nothing. They're little birds.
Yeah.
3 could be a lot for them.
Wait, so was Wither and Bloom a bonus action then?
No, Wither and Bloom is an action.
So you didn't use your wild shape?
Oh my god, no, you're right. I was doing
Sorry to rules lawyer.
Old rules. No. I'm like pretty sure you're right, and I can't do
Wait,
that.
oh no, new rules is all druids can wild shape as
it's
bonus
a bonus action now.
Okay, alright, great.
Which is wild, but
Yes, shape.
sweet. Not gonna argue with it.
Yes.
So yeah, bonus action casting Wither and Bloom.
Yes.
I'm gonna give that heal to Lady Lawn.
Oh.
You
Thank
can
you.
roll one of your hit die
Okay.
whenever you would like to, and regain that amount of hit points.
Oh, it doesn't even have to be now.
Well, it should be a D12, right?
Yes.
I mean, why not?
It's not like an action or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I might as well since I
you
have...
you just get to do it.
Yeah.
And then
7.
Cool.
So, but do I have to mark that I've used one of my hit dice, or is that like an extra hit dice?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you use one of your available.
Okay, so it's like taking
hit
a
dice.
short
Yeah.
rest or whatever.
And then I am going to regain hit points equal to 1d8 plus my wisdom modifier. 4, that's not terrible. So I'm going between many windows. So I regain 7 hit points.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for its turn, now the Strix crumbles to the ground in a reverent position, groveling in the direction of Father Esquivel. Lady Lon, you are up next, then Father Esquivel.
All right, Lady Lon is gonna trust that bird. She's gonna run up, so her dart is attached on a string, so she's gonna run over. Let's see how to describe it. She's gonna run over to the crumpled corpse or butt thing. It's still alive, right?
Yeah.
It's just groveling. And
It's
she's
just
gonna
groveling.
She's gonna take the dart. Or I'll explain what I want to do. She wants to stab the dart. Actually, she's not going to use it as a ranged attack. She's going to stab the dart and then wrap the string around to kind of prevent it from flying again.
Okay, I think that it should be
grapple?
a grapple. So
Yeah.
you roll a strength check, add
Okay.
your proficiency.
Okay. Strength check plus proficiency. 20.
Ooh, that's you beat a 19.
Woo!
So you have restrained this thing and prevented it from flying, although you have to hold on to it now.
That's fine. In that case, I'm going to, as my bonus action, go into a rage.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, Father Esquivel.
So I have advantage on an attack roll, but if I use on an attack roll against the swarm,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. But if I use Sacred Flame, that's a saving throw. I'm not making an attack roll.
Correct.
So you get to keep that advantage for till the next attack roll. Is that the case, or does it have to be this turn?
She would have to help again,
Oh, okay.
but she can do it as a bonus action as one of her sidekick abilities.
I think for the time being, the main threat is this owl monstrosity. So I'm gonna do Sacred Flame on that, which has disadvantage on Dex saves right now Dex checks only, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
From Hex.
Yeah.
Okay, doesn't matter. I'm still gonna attack the Strix with Sacred Flame, so that's a Dex save.
With disadvantage.
Not with
No disadvantage.
Oh, well, with disadvantage because of...
Oh, because of the
it's
Because
grapple.
of the grapple. Yes.
You should move me, by the way.
Oh yeah. What is your DC?
14. Or no. Yeah. Why did you disappear from my sheet?
It saves
said
against
14
Sacred
earlier.
Flame.
I
It
erase
saves.
Yes, but you notice that its feathers, while they don't quite catch, they do seem to be singeing and scorching very quickly.
Cool. I'm going to rotate around those birds to like get in between, put myself in between the birds and the row.
Okay.
That's it.
Very well. So these birds once again swarm you and once again try to peck at you, but you manage to swat them all away, thanks partly to Irina's help. Irina now beelines for the Strix. She distracts it by attacking. So she does a help as her bonus action. You have advantage on an attack if you want to take it against this thing.
Okay.
And then she attacks herself as well. And now that it's kind of immobilized, finds it much easier to than a bunch of little tiny birds to stab, dealing 7 damage. Okay. Next up is Eric, and then Rowan.
Well, how about that? I've got this hex going, so I might as well roll with that. Eric, from his inside coat pocket, pulls out one of the silver crossbow bolts that he has collected along the way. I forgot when I got those, but I did.
There were some in the treasure cache, and there were some in the house.
And uses invisible force. It just flies from his hand into the Strix.
Okay.
So that is an object attack. $18.
That's a hit.
All right.
Also, you would have had advantage, right? Because it's restrained.
Yes. So this is a D8 plus a D6. That's piercing crossbow bolt?
Yes.
So 6 piercing and 4 necrotic.
Whoa, necrotic too, huh?
Because of the hex.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
This turkey's almost done.
Yeah, you put a meat probe in it. So yes, the crossbow bolt sort of it goes shooting through the bird, but definitely takes a big chunk of the sticks and material that comprise its body.
And I'm gonna go ahead and use my Chronopathy Adept ability to use an action as a bonus action. I can do that 4 times.
Okay.
And hit it with another psionic bolt. Yeah!
I feel like as a barbarian, because I'm still, only
that's a
level
crit fail.
3 or whatever, I just have
The
bonus.
purple beam just
like
blows up in my face.
Alex doing 10 things per turn,
your
and I'm
face
just
is
like,
purple.
and I hit
Yeah.
the bird.
Okay, Rowan, you're up.
All right. How of the swarm of birds? How can I glean any information in this fray? Like, how are these birds looking? About how many birds are there?
It looks like there's about 3/4 of the birds that there were before.
Tight.
They hot?
It's about 8.
How hot are these birds?
These birds.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Oi.
If these birds were on hotornot.com.
Oh, wow. What a time.
One of the worst corners of the internet to ever exist.
But it did spawn ratemypoo.com. I really liked.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the best
Exactly.
rating you can get.
I'm gonna walk a little bit closer to those birds to make sure they're within 5 feet of me.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna do a little word of radiance, and all of them.
He's talking to the birds.
all of the birds have to make a Constitution saving throw or take a D6 of radiant damage.
Okay, and the DC is... I
13.
think they failed. Okay, yes, they failed.
3 damage.
Okay, so the birds look quite depleted at this point, but they're still sort of swarming around and colliding like the electrons in an atom.
All right, and I have nothing interesting to do with my bonus action, so I'm just gonna call it there.
Okay, Lady Lon, you're up next. First will be the Strix, who tries to escape. And does this affect, if it tries to make like a... Well, it'll just do a
It
straight
would
up
be
strength.
strength. Damn.
Okay.
I should have thought of that.
Well, I'm raging, so...
It's just trying-
Do I do a strength check?
Yes.
So I have advantage on strength checks.
Isn't it an opposed strength check?
I guess. Yeah, you're right. I think
Yeah.
Yes. So
that makes sense.
16.
okay, it continues to be grappled, but it can still, I believe, attack you.
Okay.
So it just tries to.
Does it have disadvantage though?
It does. So it tries to peck at you. Can make a lot of attacks. That's a miss.
I do have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage right now. Just FYI.
Nice.
So all damage is halved,
Well,
basically.
hopefully you don't get hit at all.
Yeah, hopefully I don't get hit at all, but
And your armor class is?
15.
Okay. So it does hit you once, dealing what would have been 8 slashing damage, but is really 4 slashing damage.
Okay.
With its claws, it's sort of trying to get out and scratches you pretty badly on your arm. And it's your turn.
So I'm gonna keep holding on with one arm, keeping
Okay.
it like tight, and then with my other arm, I'm gonna just like
Just keep it tight.
slash, do a one-handed claw attack.
Okay.
Oh, I have advantage, right? Because of
Yes. Well, because it's restrained also.
Okay. Well, that is 20.
Okay, that's a hit. So it's 1d6, I think, plus your strength, plus
1d8.
rage.
1d8.
Isn't 1d8 for two-handed?
No, 1d10 is for.
Ah, okay, so 1d8 plus your rage. Plus your strength, plus your rage.
No, it's just plus my rage, I think.
No, plus your 1d8 plus your strength.
Yeah, you get strength bonus
I do?
Yeah.
on melee attacks.
5, so 5, 6, 7, plus, so 9.
Okay. Yeah, this thing is looking quite hurt at this point. You're just sort of, with your claws, scraping away some of the sticks that comprise its body. Father Esquivel, you are up.
I am going, seeing that the Strix is not going anywhere for the time being, I'm going to attempt to, I think I'm bothered enough by this cloud of birds that keeps attacking me to just try to stab them. So I'm going to attack with a dagger.
Okay, stab the birds.
Stab the birds. See how this goes. I have a +3, 10 to hit.
That is a miss on the birds.
I thought it would be. That
Sort of slashing wildly
is
at the air.
That is my turn.
Okay. So the birds now redouble their efforts to like swarm over you and try to attack you. They are doing less damage because they're at half health or lower. What's your armor class?
16.
Okay, that is a hit, and so they do 2 damage. That's all.
Okay.
And Eric, Irina is next. You are up after her. So Irina once again does the help action and then also attacks the Strix with advantage. And that's a hit. And she does 6 damage to it. And stabs in again with her rapier and sort of moves it around once it's in through the body to carve out bigger and bigger chunks of this thing's cobbled together form. Next up we have Eric and then Rowan.
Eric is going to launch another crossbow bolt the same way.
Okay.
Invisible force. Oof. That's not very
Remember
good.
you have advantage though.
Oh, I
it's
get
restrained.
advantage.
I don't know that. I don't
Oh,
think it's
ma-
restrained. It's just it can't move.
Oh, grappled is not
yeah,
restrained?
grappled is not restrained.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay.
Well, I still had the advantage because I used the advantage that was given to me
Oh, wait.
by Irina.
Well, yeah, and so yes, you still did.
Yeah.
Okay.
11.
Okay, that is not a hit, I'm afraid.
Okay, I'm gonna use my Chronopathy Adept skill. Am I 30 feet from Lady Lon?
You are 30 feet from... You're more than 30 feet from Lady Lon.
Oh, okay. So I can't...
But you can move.
I will move about half. I would like to half the distance there if I can. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll use as a bonus action the same thing. Another crossbow bolt. Oof, 10.
Okay.
No, 12.
Another miss, I'm afraid.
Yep, that's my turn.
Okay. Rowan.
All right, I'm gonna Starry Wisp the these birds.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna Sacred Flame these birds.
Okay, so the birds do a save.
Yes.
They save.
Oh my god. I chose poorly. Okay.
Yeah, so the birds, because there's so few of them left, ironically, they just managed to dance around the radiant light.
My radiant lights. These birds got crafty this turn.
It's true.
That's it for me.
Okay. So the Strix, first of all, once again tries to break free. A strength check from Lady Lon. There's almost no way that this will succeed.
12.
Yes, so it does not succeed, but once again it is trying to peck and bite
Actually,
you.
sorry, it was 16. Never mind. So anyway.
So first, it bites hard, closing its beak around the arm that you're holding it with. Seemingly, it kind of recognizes what's keeping it there, dealing 5 damage, piercing. So you can take half of all this stuff down.
So
And
what
then
do I take 3 or do I take 2?
I think you round down.
So take 2.
Yes, take 2. Is it up?
I think it's always whatever is most disadvantageous to the player.
Oh, okay.
Well, or it'd have to be consistent. It has to be consistent.
I don't remember.
Let's just make sure that we round down for halving damage.
Okay, so take 2.
Yes. And then with its second attack, with its claw attacks, it misses. Lady Lon, you are up next.
Okay. In a move that will surprise no one, I continue to hold it strength-wise, and I yet again try to use my claws.
Okay.
I don't, so no advantage, right?
No advantage, correct.
Oh, that would have been nice. For this one, this is just a 10.
Okay, that's a miss. Oh wait, sorry, you do have advantage because she helped again. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess the difference is between grappled and restrained.
Well,
If
I
you're
rolled the exact
restrained,
same
you get
thing,
advantage.
so never mind.
Yeah, so this thing
always
is
so
still
hard to
struggling
remember.
against you, and even though something about the close quarters means that you can't get, full leverage to actually get a hit in that does enough damage to leave
I
a
mean,
mark.
it's still grappled. I'll take the win.
Yeah. Father Esquivel.
I am going to. I tried with a dagger last turn. Never again. Going to Sacred Flame on the small birds just to get them out of the way.
They failed.
Awesome. 3 damage.
Okay, so the birds get seemingly scorched in this by this celestial light, and all that falls to the ground is some burlap material and cord.
Are you gonna hand it over?
I think Rowan sees Father Esquivel's Sacred Flame work and is just kind of like,
Graveyard behind you.
Is there anything else that you do, Father Esquivel?
No bonus actions. I move over to closer to the Yeah, adjacent to the bird. I
Adjacent,
want to try
okay.
to attract its attention to have it attack me if possible.
Okay. Irina does the same thing, helps once again, and then again tries to stab with her rapier. And does a measly 2 damage. But hey, it's not nothing. Everything counts, so she just barely manages to like brush some of the material that the bird is made from away and scrape some of the silver barbs to the ground. Next up is Eric, then Rowan.
I just want to check something super fast. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I was just making sure that Hex, if I do something with a save, it wouldn't get the extra necrotic damage because it's only with an attack.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a psionic bolt. Pacha!
From the brain?
It comes from the brain through the body out of the hand.
Face looking all purple.
Yeah.
From your prior
From the
mishap.
purple. Yeah. That is a 23.
That's a hit, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 force, 3 necrotic, 8 total.
5, 4, 3 necrotic.
5 force.
Oh, got it.
3 necrotic.
8 total. Okay. So again, this like energy just blows a hole in the bird. One of its wings is looking very decrepit and almost free of all of the barbs that were hanging off of it, but it's still struggling against the restraints of Lady Lon.
I'm gonna run up behind Lady Lon and use one more of these bonus actions to put my hand on her shoulder, and his eyes roll back in his head for a second, and using the ability Glimpse, I glimpse that creature's immediate future and impart a word of warning into their mind. The next attack roll made against the target has disadvantage.
Ooh, okay.
That's fine. I'm like, what the?
Rowan, you are up.
Oh man, that's like foresight.
Yeah.
Really cool. Yeah, so I'm going to throw a guiding bolt at this weird scarecrow owl's face.
And what's the save on it?
It's an attack roll.
I thought there was also a save. No.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
cool.
I'll double check for sure.
So if you hit it, it takes that effect where attacks against it have advantage. The next attack.
Yeah, the
Okay.
next attack has advantage.
Okay.
Also
All kinds of
Does-
advantage and disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
damage. Ooh. We're gonna have a hard time dodging a 23.
Oh yeah,
Damn.
no dodge.
Another 23. The number
Yeah.
23.
46,
I feel like
right?
Jim Carrey over here.
Which movie?
The number 23, where he's
not
seeing the number
terrible.
23 every
Oh
day.
no.
16 damage.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was called
so
number 23.
the
Michael Jordan.
bolt of kind of starry light
Every time he sees
coalesces and then shoots through it, and now its second wing is almost free of these barbs entirely, and it has just a few left. Do you have any movement or any bonus actions?
Nothing meaningful. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, so with that, it sort of covers itself in a wing as it's struggling, and all of the barbs shoot out at the 3 adjacent people.
But it has disadvantage, right?
Against you, it does.
And anyone who is not grappling the creature. That is part of grapple in the new rules.
Okay.
Is attacks directed at anyone not the grappler have disadvantage.
That's fine.
Okay, well,
so
it
makes sense.
So you have disadvantage for all kinds of different reasons.
It got a natural 20, but then it got a 3.
Oh, wow.
So these barbs just fly out all over the place. And
And I do like a matrix.
yeah, exactly. And then you're up.
So do I need to do a strength check again?
Yes.
You knew that was going to happen also.
Yeah, I did, exactly. Hold on.
You're looking for a strength bonus.
The saving throw, so 14.
Not saving throw. Check.
Strength check. Oh.
Yeah.
Then 12.
Okay. You still win. You make
Okay.
it.
Alright. And I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So,
With advantage.
with advantage. Ooh, nat 20.
Okay. You plunge one claw deep into it and just kind of, I think, rock it back and forth until it's like shredded the spine and head of this thing. And
Do I need to roll for damage or should I just...
No.
Okay.
it is dead. You've defeated the Strix. And on the ground, the crow does another one of the like cha-ching
Wait a minute, it's
coin
a raven,
rattling
right?
sounds. The raven, yes.
But it's doing crow-like things.
It's doing crow-like thing. Yeah, it has that kind of a lyre bird,
Yeah.
or mina bird.
Well, Yurik right away runs up and grabs his crossbow bolts out of the thing, and also looks through the bundle to see if there's anything of value amongst the.
I want the burlap.
Yeah, is nothing in there, right? Just
Nothing that you
Feathers
can
and-
tell.
Creepy, like Blair Witchy.
he's happy to dig through it all.
Yeah, nothing that you can tell.
I look over at the raven, and I'm like, "Was that a friend of yours?"
It goes. No.
What? I apologize. This is the first time I've occasioned to speak with a bird. You are a bird, right?
Yep. Yep.
Are you the one that was watching before in town?
Yep.
Can I help you?
Yep.
Care to elaborate?
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Standing like a little ways behind Father Esquivel, Rowan has their arms crossed and is just like watching this happen, and then goes, "Can I be of some service?"
Oh, well, I mean, please.
I have been known to commune with animals, but it'd be better if we could stop for a few moments. I could prepare a ritual. It helps me sort of
Where's Morgan?
conserve my energy. I think I'm trying to figure out what I would have done with her during the fight.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't just like chasing the cats, like or like chasing the birds.
Chasing
like,
birds.
Oh, you guys get to claim this thing now.
Woo!
Go.
Scary.
Keep this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's
Does
probably probably like pawing around in the dust that was once the smaller flying birds, trying to figure out like where did birds go?
You don't find any organic. You don't find any animal material. Mm-hmm. It's cloth, sticks, and same with the big one. Just cloth and sticks, rope, and these silver barbs. Silvery, I should say. You don't know if they're silver or not. They're silver looking.
Barbs like they're like arrowhead tips or like caltrops?
Needles.
Oh. Interesting. Like dressmaker pins kind of thing?
I don't know. How is that different from a needle?
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's like someone stuck something together using pins.
They look like they're meant to be launched. Again,
Okay,
it's
okay.
It's not held together with the pins.
Okay, yeah,
the
that was
pins
my
are
question.
ammunition.
Okay.
So yeah, I think Rowan will start preparing the Speak with Animals ritual.
Okay. Takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What happens when you does it have a like material components or anything? What happens when you cast it?
Just verbal and somatic components. But I think for like ritual it would have maybe not like expendable material components, but there are definitely some runes that get drawn in the ground, and you know they'd like sit there and do this like whole thing with their hand and the constellations and like make sure everything's correct and like the moon is in the right phase for their positioning of things.
You're lucky that it's one of those you can see the moon in the when it's not yet very late
Thank
days.
God. Well, I think they would know what they would probably like.
That's true.
Yeah, know what moon phase it was on any given day.
Irina is watching all of this with great interest and sort of asks, "Can I? What are you doing?"
Well, one of the gifts that the sort of Mother Earth has given to my people as the ability to speak with animals, if you know the right words, so to speak. So I'm just sort of conferring with the Earth and letting the Earth know that I'd like to speak with one of its children.
Well, that's very impressive. Okay, sorry. Don't let me bother you. Carry on.
Oh, you're no bother at all.
And within 10 minutes, you can sort of get a handle on this raven.
Nice. Hello, friend.
Hello.
Can I ask if there was any reason that you were watching us earlier in the village?
I like to help.
You like to help?
When I am hungry, or not, sometimes not.
I know what it means to be ruled by your stomach. That's for sure. Sorry. D&D Beyond wanted me to roll fake dice. I have all these here.
Do you have any food?
I surely do. I think I'd like pull like a hardtack biscuit or something equivalent out of my bag and like kind of crumple it on the ground.
It does the thing where it like tries one and then very quickly eats all of it.
Like give it time to eat. I don't want to, don't want to rush it.
Can I go with you?
Sure you can. Do you know where it is we're going?
Alaki.
Oh, quite a bit for a bird. You were telling one of my companions that you need our help. Is that right?
I'm hurt.
Oh.
I just need some friends.
Oh, don't we all? And there's not one of us so rich to say no to another friend. So you can stay with us. I'm actually I'm no holy person, but I know a bit in the ways of treating wounds. I could take a look at your entries and try to help.
Oh, the holy person helped. I just need time.
That's right, I forgot about that. All right, well, you're welcome to set up on my shoulder, so long as Morrigan's not there. That's her over there. She looks like a cat right now, but she's not actually
I don't like cats.
Well, she's not really a cat, to be fair, but...
She's also friend?
Also friend.
Okay.
She can be something else, too.
No, friend is good. And he flutters up onto your shoulder.
So how do you think it is that you could be able to help us?
Oh, I can see.
That is true. Have you seen anything interesting lately?
Just the usual.
Oh. Anything, It seems to us sort of your Lord of the Land has taken a keen interest in us.
You're new. He likes new.
He does this a lot with new folk.
There's not a lot of new folk.
Fair. It's so lovely here, though.
Ah, I think so too. But I've never been anywhere else.
Rowan kind of turns to everyone and is like, "Does anyone have any questions for the bird?
Does it have a name?
Do you have a name?"
Blue.
Blue.
Did it say why we're interesting specifically? What was it about us?
We're new, and Blue said they like to help. They can see a lot of things, but
From high.
nothing of interest lately.
It's not one of,
I remember
his animals?
I remember
Not
this,
his.
this raven helped us during the battle against the undead the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be working under their own free will.
Free will. Yep.
They're very nice. I hand him another little piece of biscuit.
Before you're prepared to relinquish it, the biscuit is gone.
Almost got my finger.
Going to meet the old lady.
We are. How did you know that?
The way you're going.
Oh. People always come to see Ava when they're coming this way?
Yeah, they do. He went today.
He did?
The Lord did.
Oh. That's interesting.
You better not have taken my dog.
No dog.
Blue, you haven't seen a dog around.
They have many dogs.
Oh. Blue says they have dogs at the camp.
Lady Lan, almost smiles.
Go before dark.
Oh.
Okay.
Right. That doesn't sound ominous at all.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Walk and talk with Blue.
Eric's bored.
Blue flies over to Eric's shoulder.
Ooh. Hello.
He sort of headbutts you.
Hey.
Uh,
Blood shoots out.
So
He's
you
unfazed.
you are continuing to walk down this road as the sky darkens rather quickly, and eventually the road disappears and it starts to become replaced by this twisted, muddy path through the trees, which you can see opens up to some clear water. In this muddy path, you can see deep ruts and grooves that are a sure sign of wagons coming and going. And suddenly, this canopy of branches and mist gives way to these black clouds boiling far above. But next to this river, this body of water, there's a clearing which widens to form just a small lakeside, several hundred feet across. And you see these 5 very colorful, very bright tents. The smell of cooking meat reminds you that you're hungry. And you start to hear as well just a little bit of the sound of talking, maybe even laughing, and music. And these tents are about 10 feet in diameter, pitched in kind of a ring shape. And you see some barrel-top wagons as well. There's in the middle a much larger tent near the lake shore, and it's kind of sagging. You can tell that the tents are lit from within, and there are horses, unbridled, sipping from the river, and you hear accordion and singing and some brightly clad figures around 2 bonfires, maybe more. A footpath kind of continues from where you are to the encampment, and then from the encampment kind of beyond to the river and the forest's edge. And you do hear dogs barking.
What a comforting sight.
It does appear to be.
I immediately march over towards the direction of where the dogs are barking.
Okay, you start to walk there, and you, before long, are greeted by someone, but you pay him no mind as he says, hello, welcome, and you just kind of keep walking, and bounding up to you is Monto. Barking. Very excited.
I scoop up Monto, immediately put Monto in my sleeve, and hand it some of the jerky that I bought for Monto.
It's very happy and sort of like licking its lips and eats the jerky very quickly, although it doesn't appear to have been mistreated at all. And the person who greeted you was wearing very colorful clothes, kind of flowing and bright. He's a joyful, boisterous man, has a happy twinkle in his eye that you haven't seen from maybe anybody else in Barovia yet, apart from maybe Periwimple. And he says, I've been wondering when the owner of this dog would come by. Didn't realize you would be so motivated, but those who left him here, they told us to keep an eye out.
So the people who took him, they are not here?
No, just passing traders. But we are. Welcome.
She's sort of like...
Thank
squids.
you.
Like, I think Lady Lon had sort of like secretly been sort of like hoping to kick some butt. Did they also drop off any of our stolen items or some lost travelers, perhaps?
No people or things, although it did seem like they had sold some in the previous town. No, they moved on, but this dog, they couldn't wait to get rid of it, quite frankly. But we have a few here.
Oh. Lady Lon like looked and was like,
You must be not looking like you're from this area. You're either in need of rest, or your fortunes, or both.
Food?
Certainly. We have coin if you would need some, but we have just spent a while on the road. My father Esquivel, you are...
I'm Stanimir, and we are the Vistani of the Tserpool.
We've heard such excellent things about you. It's wonderful to see that the stories are not fanciful inventions.
By the way, Monto has now completely calmed down and is like just back to its normal, no, like glaring at everybody.
Right, yes.
Things have returned to normal now.
What kind of dog is Monto again?
Monto is a
Pekingese.
Amazing.
Will you cheat this way?
Cheat this way?
Yeah.
Move?
Yeah. We don't say move. That's what Alec told me. Well,
It's an industry.
Oh no, sorry. Wait, we did no. Pekingese or Pomeranian?
Pekingese.
Pekingese.
I can't claim to live up to any rumors, nor that they are at all accurate, but I can provide a bit of sustenance and some good stories. Although, if you are going to see the lady, they want to do that first. It can sometimes be a lengthy process.
I suppose we should defer to your expertise.
That's
Shall
not
we-
so much as all that.
Find her in the big tent, I'm assuming.
That's where she works and lives.
Does she have one of those like neon lights that's like palm reading?
Basically, it does.
The eye and
Yeah.
It does have the eye, and it says Eva. And as you walk up to it, you can distinctly smell frankincense, and you can sort of hear the music growing more distant as there seems to be a real hush around this tent. And you can see a kind of glow from within. Who goes in first?
I'll go in first.
not this guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say not probably not Lady Lon.
Okay,
the
so
occult feels like kind of adjacent
yeah,
to my domain.
That's home for you. So Rowan enters first, and you see these flames cast a reddish glow over the interior of a pretty crowded tent. There's a little pallet next to a table, many shelves of various esoterica, curios, that sort of thing. You have crystals and desiccated animals and
Hell yeah.
all sorts of witchy ingredients. And then there's a low table made for sitting cross-legged, covered in this velvety, very dark cloth. And there's a crystal ball on the table from which light seems to glint. And this hunched figure in colorful patchwork materials is sort of lost in it. And she says, at last you've arrived.
She's selling pie.
Rowan Damnalek, whose spirit roils. You are here.
I am here. Madam Eva, I presume?
That's right. And are your companions going to enter?
kind of move the flap aside and I'm like, come on in, nothing to fear.
Oh, I thought this was a one at a time sort of.
Oh, you are all welcome.
Oh, okay.
Eric von Esternberg, whose blood calls.
Eggenberg.
Let me consult my notes. Father Esquivel, whose skin recoils, and Lady Lan, whose heart rages. I do have much to tell you. And she sees the raven on your shoulder. She says, and you've brought a friend too. I have a fondness for these animals. I used to keep one myself.
This is Blue.
Hello, Blue. Mine was called Tarul, but that was long ago. Well, I suspect you have some questions.
No shortage of those.
Let's start at the beginning. What do you want to know?
How do we leave?
This is the beginning? Well,
Trying to develop an exit strategy.
you stand on the precipice of a cliff face that you cannot see. I don't think you understand what you asked me, but regardless, I cannot do this thing for you, not yet. If you wish to pursue this path, come to the crossroads that you passed earlier today, the River Ivlis crossroads, at midnight. I will await you there, at the gallows. And be sure to come alone. Do not let yourselves be followed. Now listen. A shadow is approaching my tent. A lone servant of darkness. They seek knowledge of your future. Secrets that I am sworn never to share, that I cannot share. I cannot reveal them to anyone but their keepers. Do not look. Do not rush to greet them. Because if they learn of your true aspirations, all may be lost. Do not reveal even that you know their true nature, for their master will know that you know. And they will know that I have told you, and wrath will descend upon us all. Okay, midnight? Right? At the gallows?
Right, midnight at the gallows.
How much time do we have before this dark servant arrives?
She sort of peeks past the tent flap. You had better go.
That was fast. Oh, okay.
Well, as she says.
Midnight. Gallows.
Midnight at the gallows for a completely normal meeting.
For now, enjoy the hospitality of my tribesmen.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Eva.
As you walk out, you see two Vistani tribes members waiting outside the tent. And one of them, a sprightly, young, maybe early 30s woman, greets you and gives you a warm welcome. Stanimir said that we had new arrivals. And she kind of goes for a hug. I'm Eliza.
Monto, snaps. Barks a little bit.
Oh, you were so nice to me earlier. Well, yeah. So you've already met Stanimir, and this sourpuss over here is Arturi, and he says, "Hello."
As advertised.
Eliza says, "Stanimir, what's with this lack of hospitality? You sent them right to Eva. We have the dance, we have the Dorok. This is not the way we greet our guests here, right?" And Stanimir says, "I suppose not. Well, we've already started the fire, and seems like they may be spending the evening with us.
Of course.
If you'll have us.
And of course, the dog is already... What is his name, by the way?"
Monto.
And Monto is already familiar with the food we prepare, so he won't be shy about it, and hasn't been so far, I have to say it. So, come, why not sit by the fire? We have wine, we have food, song.
No wine. Last time we had wine, it did not go very well.
I would like some wine.
I think I am beginning to understand how your dog came into our possession. Yes, some of our kin have aggressive means of acquisition. But rest assured, this is not us. And Eliza sort of beckons for you to come along with them. Arturi says, "Can I come sit with you too?"
Yeah, we were just over the table. We were just warned that there is like
An evil presence.
someone
Yeah.
to not trust should be arriving soon. Is arriving soon, and we have these people.
So, like, don't tell them who you are. Don't tell them what
Right.
you're up
And
to.
don't let them follow to the galley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, does anyone, Stanimir, Eliza, or Archery stand out in any way? Like, no.
You can roll an insight check.
Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. So that is a 22.
Arturi seems very awkward to you. Eliza is sincerely gregarious. And Stanimir seems like he's a bit less... he's a bit less of the sort of consummate host than he plays up. So Arturi says, I don't mean to be a bother, I'm sorry, but I heard you are new to Barovia, and I am curious to hear news from the village. I don't mean to impose, it's been some time since I shared the Vistani fire, but if you don't mind, I have some question, if you're willing.
Certainly, we've hardly spent any time in the village. We wouldn't know. I don't know that we would have much news. You're not Vistani yourself.
And are you guys talking as you're walking? So you sort of make your way to the fire, and he says, the situation is complicated. I was, or maybe am, the We have a word, Shalakti. It is like a banishment. So, but this one is more self-imposed. And Eliza says, "Don't bore them with these stories. Tell us your names."
I'm Eric.
Esquivel. Father Esquivel.
My name is Rowan. This is Maury. That's Blue.
Ah, welcome to all three of you. Handsome cat.
Thank you.
I'm Lady Lan, and this is Monto. Apparently, you already know him.
We've shared a couple laughs. She hands out these crude pewter bowls. Turnip, rabbit, potato, lentil. You can... Well, parsnip, I think, in here as well, if you would like to partake.
Excellent.
Lady Lan is gonna try to smell it to see with her, just to see if it smells funky.
Okay, roll a perception check. Sorry, actually, investigation.
17.
It smells fine to you, and you can see that others are eating it from the same cauldron. And Monto smells and sort of tries to put his face in your bowl.
Monto, you have learned bad habits.
Do all of you eat? Oh, we've been sharing with him. Should we not have been?
He is spoilt enough as it is.
Very well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Rowan just eats.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't even think about it.
And they pass around wine for those who want it.
Hell no.
Okay. There's no other drink options, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Lady
Eric
Lan will
has some
just
wine.
prepare some tea.
Okay.
Didn't she get some tea from?
Yeah, you got some tea bags.
Yeah.
I have
There's
the
a-
wine. I wasn't there when the wine thing happened.
Yeah.
So
You would.
Okay. Okay. So dusk sort of descends. Eliza asks, "And where are you off to next? Just here for a reading or passing through?"
Well, we're hoping to pass through, but from what I understand, it's something of a challenge to leave these lands. We were outside the gates when we woke up and found our camp ransacked. A group of wolves chased us inside the borders. We've been trying to collect our belongings and find our way home ever since.
Well, certainly you cannot leave these lands.
We keep hearing that. We're very committed to trying, though.
Well, if you find some way to do that, I would commend you heartily. Some of us can. We Vistani, but not many of us do.
Well, if there's any advice you can give us, we'd be grateful. But if not, and we truly can't leave, I imagine we'll be seeing you again before long.
And do you need a place to spend the night? You're welcome to use our camp, although tents are fully occupied.
I mean, I don't know how my companions feel, but I certainly wouldn't turn down a warm fire.
That we can provide, and will. Stay at least for now. We have a bit of a ritual that we do, particularly when guests are here. It begins with a dance, if any of you would like to participate, or just watch. Arturi asks, "You're from outside Barovia. What's happening there?"
The usual.
Have you heard about the man? He came from outside too. Van Richten. Have you seen him?
Van Richten, I can't say that name.
No, I don't.
No, it doesn't seem familiar to me.
Okay. Roll a deception check, everyone.
I'm not saying anything, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do I still roll a deception?
No.
check?
Yeah, I didn't say. I didn't.
Can I guidance myself?
I don't think you can surreptitiously guidance.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would guidance you and you would guidance me.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we can...
verbal and somatic.
Hey everyone,
components.
welcome to the Raiders. Thank you
damn.
for watching our stream.
Chat just blowed up.
We are we just got to the Terpool camp for a reading with Madame Ava.
Isn't that nice?
Well, and then she told us to meet her at the crossroads at midnight.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have to figure out how to do that.
And also for context, this is a Curse of Strahd campaign that takes place in a historical fiction version of our universe, this universe, unfortunately.
IRL, but not really.
Yep.
I got a
Okay.
19 deception.
Okay, that's good enough.
13.
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, fair enough. He says, I heard a rumor that we are acquainted, and I heard he may be traveling here.
Well, if he gets here, he can't leave.
This is very true. I don't know how he managed to do it the first time, if he did.
Questions for the
At this
man.
point, Eliza stands up and looks to Rowan and says, "And how about you? Would you like a dance?"
Well, you've extended your hospitality to us so warmly that couldn't possibly imagine turning down a dance.
Very well. And as the music starts up, you can tell that she is clearly leading.
How many people are like? Is it? It's not just the three of them.
No, it's
right?
it's
There's, like,
about
whole
a
bunch of
dozen,
people.
but
Okay.
they're the ones mostly talking to you.
Okay.
So roll a performance check.
Oh, dang. That's a 9.
The first few steps don't go well. There's a bit of a stumble, and some of the Vistani sort of shake their heads. Go
Very different kind of footwork where I'm from.
go again.
Oh boy. A second time better than the first. That's a critical fail.
So
Kill her.
as she does, as she takes one turn to her right, you put your back foot behind your front, and as you move to spin, you just fall over onto your butt. And she says, I will do this one myself, and you can sort of watch it.
I'll just
And
watch
then the next
the first time, and then I'll join in for the second round. It's a
And-
good idea.
And you see her continue sort of picking up her skirt very deftly as she, it's very long, and as she moves it, she's able to kind of kick up her legs. It's a mesmerizing dance, and with it, you do feel drawn closer to her in a way. It's very intimate. And then as she finishes, people applaud. Even all of the local Vistani seem impressed. And Stanimir at this point says, now we will carry on to a part of the evening that we often engage in when we have visitors from the outside. They call it the Dorok. It's a contest of sorts. We each tell stories that are intended to move to tears or laughter. And at the end of each, all of us say whether we think it was a truth, a half-truth, or a falsehood. And whoever is correct at the end wins the pot. I would like for you to participate if you can, but of course that means you must tell a story and you must wager something.
Ooh, this does sound like fun. In terms of these wagers, just how, kind of serious does it get?
Well, I'll tell you what I intend to wager this evening.
Okay.
And he holds up a deck of cards. These are Taroka cards, very similar to what Madame Eva will read to you from. They belong to my late wife. Sat unused for years, and I think they've picked up enough dust in my wagon that they can deal with a more interested owner. And Eliza says, I'll be putting up this. She takes out a retractable spyglass. But then you could see that the end is sort of maneuverable. And she sort of stands with Stanimir to her right and with Arturi to her left. And she sort of turns the spyglass to look to her left and then, perfectly smacks Arturi on the nose. You can see around corners.
I like that. That's nice.
So, that sort of thing. Care to wager?
Oh boy, what would I even wager?
Gold is never unwelcome.
I'm sure.
The story is the more difficult thing.
Well, I don't know. I do have some gold, but
I will wager for Rowan. So Rowan may tell the story. I am not good at stories. But I have a map of a land outside of Barovia.
Oh, this is helpful. We could do that. Some of us travel for trading.
oh, thank you, Lady Lon. That's lovely.
But I do not like telling stories, so...
And the boy, the holy man, will you participate?
I don't much like talking in front of people.
Well, but you seem so good at it. Eliza says, yeah, come on, why not try?
Oh,
Arturi chimes in, I agree that you do seem to be a natural.
all right.
Why don't you give your pie? Wager your pie.
Oh, I don't have any more pie. I would have eaten it.
You don't have any pies, do you?
No, we don't make them here.
I pull out
It's like pocket
ruby
lint.
brooch.
Oh.
This looks like a valuable item. Very well. Shall we begin? And Irina takes off a painted wooden hair clip in the shape of a sunflower and says, I'd like to participate as well. I think I have a story to tell. And Arturi says, okay, well then for me it's this. And he holds up what looks like a manuscript. This is by my friend that I mentioned, Van Richten. And it says, men as wolves on the first page.
He writes books, your friend.
I suppose he does.
No.
At least this one.
I think before that was revealed, Esquivel was not going to participate, but then at the opportunity to potentially win that, Esquivel sort of quickly is like, I have gold. I don't suppose an extra Bible would be a suitable contribution to the pot. It's not typically the kind of thing that many people
It's
are
not really our
attempting
thing.
to win in games of
Eliza
chance.
says, we don't, we tried it, but it didn't take.
No
But
need to explain.
the book is nice.
Yeah, then I would put forward the Prussian Bible that I recovered.
The holy man wagers a holy book in a game with a tribe of godless heathens. You must be very confident in your chances.
I'm not sure I am.
Stanimir says, well, as is my wont, I will go first. And he sidles up to the fire, and the first thing he does is just take a huge swig of wine from a glass that he has. But then, as you think he's about to swallow, he spits it into the fire, and the flames turn from their typical color to a very vibrant, lustrous green. And as they sort of dance and sway, a dark shape coalesces in the core of the fire. We come from an ancient land whose name is long forgotten. A land of kings. Our enemies forced us from our homes, and now we wander the lost roads. And the shape in the fire looks like a man being knocked from his horse and a spear flying into his side. One night, a wounded soldier staggered into our camp and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injury and quenched his thirst with our wine. Then he takes a drink for himself. He survived, and when we asked him who he was, he wouldn't say. All he wanted was to return home, but we were deep in the land of his enemies, and he had business here. We took him as one of our own, and we followed him back to his homeland. His enemies, well, they hunted him. They said he was a prince, but yet we didn't give him up. Even when the assassins fell upon us like wolves, we did not give him up. And in the bonfire again, you see this dark figure standing up with a sword drawn and fighting off some wispy green, shadowy flame shapes. This man of royal blood, he fought to protect us in turn, just as we had protected him. And we bore him safely back to his home, and he thanked us and said, I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish. Leave when you choose, and know that you will always be safe here. And the figure in the fire vanquishes a final enemy, and then it disperses in a cloud of smoke and embers. And Stanimir sort of visibly deflates and says, okay, so now you must say true, half true, or false. Eric?
True.
You are not participating.
I'm just sipping my tea with Monto.
True.
Half true.
And then Eliza votes true. And Arturi votes half true. Stanimir says, that, my friends, was the true tale of the Vistani people. And that wounded prince lived on as a friend to the Vistani, even when his heart was led astray by shadows and mist. And so we live here now, without favor and without fear. So the next person to stand up is Eliza. So each of you have a point, as does Eliza. And she now comes up to the fire. It is said that within each raven, flutters a lost soul, and that each raven's song tells a tale of ages past. They whisper, so listen closely. And she takes a deep breath and then starts to speak with a more melodic quality. Sing, ravens of Barovia, birthed from the mists and bathed in twilight. Sing of Lugdana, our lord thy god's stalwart, dawn-touched foe to the deep lurking dark. The holy symbol of ravenkind, her radiant testament, the warrior's beacon of truthful resolve. Sing ravens, sing ravens
Sing Reagan.
of Chernavog's rise, named Green God and Demon Lord upon Yester Hill. Lugdana, gray-haired, weary of battle, her long sword and shield yet polished and ready, guided through shadows towards sacred ground. She clashed with the demon, their tempest-like dance. Sing ravens of Lugdana's last fury, of Ravenkind's token now blazing with light. The battle's tide turning, a hero's brave cry, a final onslaught with divinity's grace. The demon lord banished, the warrior now fell, the wound on her side gouged too deep to bear. Sing, ravens, of light's final moments, a shadow descending from the radiance on high. Sing of the angel, black-feathered and beaked, in God's angel reclaiming its gift, the symbol retaken, in raven's claws held. Sing, ravens, for you are the keepers, you are the watchers, you, the tellers of stories untold. Sing, ravens, of Lugdana's memory, the shadow that lurk, and heroes to come. And then she does a deep, demonstrative bow as once again people clap. Okay, boy.
Oh. All right. Can I have some wine?
Of course. Are you not a boy?
Takes a bunch of. Has a bunch of
Some more wine for the
Big
chat,
ol'-
please.
big
No,
ol'-
no, but
swig.
first you must vote.
Oh, right. True.
Father?
Half true.
Half true.
Stanimir votes true, and Arturi says false. Half true indeed. Point to each of you. And the holy man is in the lead, among even all of us Vistani. What a shame. Lugdana indeed was a paladin of God, who bore the holy symbol of Ravenkind. She says, okay, you stick in the mud. It's time for you to go. And Arturi walks up to the fire and plants his feet and begins to speak. There once was a fox, renowned for his wisdom and skill, who dwelled with his kit in the misted woods. On a cold, moonlit night, a pair of sparrows brought him their child, the tendrils of death clutching its shivering body. The fox took the chick into his den, but for all his knowledge he could not cure its ailment, and it breathed its last in his paws. Driven mad in their grief, the vengeful sparrows, aided by 4 of their kin, stole the fox's kit in the night. They delivered him to the wolf, who had long hungered for the taste of fox flesh. The wolf devoured the kit, and the sparrows departed to return to their flock. When the fox found what the sparrows had done, rage clutched his heart. In his cunning, he knew that the rats, in their burrows beneath the earth, had always despised the songs of the sparrows far above. The fox descended to the kingdom of the rats, and he promised them a forest free from the songs of the sparrows, free from their warbles. Intrigued, the rats agreed. The rats could not find the sparrow's nest alone, but the crafty fox could. And as the sparrows slumbered in the hollow of a great oak, the rats fell upon them to feast with tooth and claw. For the crimes of the 6, the flock perished, and nary an egg spared. The misted wood is darkened now, and the trees no longer sing with the songs of the sparrows. But some say that the rats hunt still, that the lone chick escaped their clutches, and that one day they will find it and gobble it up, like the rest of the flock. What do you think?
Well told, but I believe it's false.
Half true.
Gonna say half true again.
Stanimir says, true. And Eliza votes, false. Artori says, well, if you change the nature of the beasts, I'm afraid it is true. I think point only to Stanimir on that one.
I must, not to, clearly new to this sort of tradition, but I have to point out, if you must change something fundamental about the story in order for it to be true, would it not be half true?
Well, the events happened. It's just they didn't happen with animals, with people.
Well,
I don't think you're gonna win this one, Father.
For future reference,
Has a poetic truth to it.
a change, an ecstatic truth, a change of the animals still makes it true.
I take back my objection, of course.
He makes a pretty good point, though. Okay, boy, time for you now to tell.
All right. I never got to meet my Uncle Felix. Before I was born, he went on a vacation or a holiday to Rome with his wife Anna, and her sister Alina, and Alina's husband Maximilian. In the place they were staying in Rome, they had just arrived, were looking around, and found a curious object. It appeared to be a centurion's helmet. From what little Latin my uncle knew, he could read something to the effect, etched on it, it said, the last item you will ever need. They put it aside and began with the revelry, the drinking, and eating and enjoying the sights. Didn't think anything of it. Later that night, in their just being drunken and silly, Anna put it on. It heavily obscured her vision. You couldn't see her face really at all. And she couldn't really hear anyone from the outside, but she seemed to enjoy wearing it. The other three went off to dance and continue to drink, but she just sat there, just seemingly enjoying the darkness and the solitude of the helmet. The others
passed out and went to sleep. The next morning, she was still sitting there, wearing the helmet. Maximilian asked her to remove it, and she refused. The others went off to see the sights, the Parthenon. They went to visit the local attractions, and all she wanted to do was sit there. She saw no need to do anything else. She wouldn't eat, wouldn't do anything. Finally, when they got home, Maximilian, embarrassed at her unwillingness to participate in their holiday, yelled at her and demanded that she remove the helmet. She refused. So he had grabbed her head, attempted to take it off, and it seemed to be stuck. She insisted that she wouldn't ever need to remove it. Maximilian, furious that he wouldn't have his wife anymore, attempted to do the rest of the holiday without her. The next day, he came back, said, "If you don't remove this, I'm leaving you." She brandished a knife, killed all three of them, and died there of starvation, sitting alone in her helmet, seemingly content.
He spins a good yarn, does he know?
You have a gift. Stanimir says, must be false. And Eliza agrees. A great tale, but no, I do not believe it. And Arturi says, I can believe it. Half true.
I look at Eric and think about all the times, bits of his body have fallen off and he's used them to make magic spells and look through his own teeth and just very disturbed, but also true.
And you?
I haven't known this chap for long. He is quite the forlorn fellow. I believe it's true, absolutely.
It's false. I've never met my family.
Somehow it is more disturbing
That also tracks,
than in the telling of the story.
More wine for the small boy.
Ay.
Lady Lon's like, I could have told you that.
Okay, good job, boy. And what about you, holy man?
A long time ago, there was a man, a nobleman from a wealthy family who left after an indolent childhood and went to war. And there he met folk totally unlike him he endured and experienced the extremes of human suffering. He returned to his family, broken in body and spirit, and spent months in bed, unable to eat, to sleep. He finally, at the behest of family, began to at least spend his time absorbing the extensive library that his family owned. And there he found a new light, a new calling, a spiritual one that he wanted to carry into the world. Not one born of worldly power, but one born of spiritual healing and simplicity and faith. And that man traveled out into the world and tried his best to save the souls of all those he met. And that man is me.
Stanimir says, very powerful. It must be true. Arturi, the origin of your faith moves me. True. And Eliza says, well, it sounds very much like a story that someone in your profession, and it is a profession, would like others to believe about themselves. False. But of course, you will say it is true. So I say true.
I like her.
I have to say true.
And you, Rowan?
Let's, I honestly don't know, so I'm going to play this strategically and see it as half true.
It is all true, except for the identity of the man. So I would say half true.
But that does follow the principles of our storytelling. And so... only Damnalek gets a point.
I will happily take that point.
And Eliza says, I think it's a lie, but nevertheless, I understand why. Oh, this game is stupid.
Men of God are never going to give you a real answer when it comes down to it. So
Exactly.
it's the best we're gonna get.
Well, what do you have?
Well, mine is a bit of a break in form from the rest of you, I must say. Lots
thank
of
God.
dour tales for a campfire with our cups full and our bellies the same. So, as you may have guessed hearing me speak, or maybe you haven't, I don't know how much you've traveled, I am from a ways northwest of here, in Britannia, as it's sometimes called. I grew up myself in western Scotland in a very small village. The only kind of people that ever made a living there were ones that scratched it out of the land. Lots of farmers, people keeping pigs, sheep, goats, and more relevant to the story, quite a lot of very bored, very idle children. Got up to a great deal of mischief, but when I try to think back about that time, I don't think there's anything that caused a stir quite so much as the incident of the suspiciously numbered pigs. There was this man who sort of, oversaw lots of the agricultural goings on in town. His name was Wayne Knob. We all called him Wee Knob for reasons that should be obvious. Anyway, Wee Knob, as the name suggests, was not exactly a favorite in our village. Children especially like to give him a hard time. So one day, there's this huge roar from the center of town, if you can call it such, town. And everyone goes out to see what's happening. Wee Knob is, knocking things over and yelling. He's chasing this pig. It appears to be marked with the number 1. He's just chasing it around the yard, squealing to himself, louder than the pig even. Gets people running, helping him try to catch it. They find and catch pig number 1, put him in the stable. They see another pig running around. Pig has a number 3 on it. Think, well, I've already caught 1 greased pig today. Might as well try for pig number 2. They have to call a few more people in to help. They eventually get pig number 3. They find a pig with 4. They catch 4. 5. They catch 5. 6. They catch 6. They never could find 2, though, which seemed quite the odd thing to them. Wee Knob got absolutely apoplectic about it. What they didn't know was that we had actually taken 5 pigs, not 6. We had just numbered them 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, thinking that they would run themselves crazy trying to find pig number 2, and that they did. There were some legal disputes for quite a while through the town about who had ownership of pig number 2 and who owned whom how much money after the loss of that pig. But only me and 4 of my friends know that there was never any pig number 2.
Well, this was quite a prank. And I must say, with all of these concerns about ownership, I understand why I hear so much about the men of Britannia dominating the west of the continent.
Certainly like barnyard animals that can't be disputed.
Well, I have to say, this sounds too fun for me to believe it not to be true. So, true. So many details. I think it is half true. And the real pig that you took, the number that you skipped was 3 or 4. You see?
Oh, I see what you're going for there.
Arturi says, "Oh, it sounds so frustrating." I suppose it's true, though.
I'm gonna have to guess true.
I also say, I'm gonna say half true.
It is half true.
Oh. Okay, so we have a a tie going into the final round between Father Esquivel and Eliza. And standing up next is Irina. She says, well, I suppose you may find this one situated somewhere in the middle between the more somber and the more jovial. When I was a child, my father took me and my brother to a vast, tranquil lake. I remember the sand beneath my feet and the lapping of the waves against the shore. But then something broke the silence. A low growl that echoed through the wind. As I turned, I saw a beast emerge from the fog. A wolf far larger than any I've ever seen. To that time, anyway. I still remember its eyes. Yellow, cold, hungry. My father screamed for me to run. I took off for the woods, and the wolf followed, its snarls right behind me. I could hear it through the underbrush. I remember the branches whipping against my face, the thorns cutting my feet, and as my legs, they burned with fatigue, and they grew ragged, but the fear drove me further and further forward. And it was only much later that my heart had quieted in my chest, and the wolf's footsteps had faded back into the forest, and finally into silence. And I allowed myself to stop, but then the woods were strange to me. I couldn't hear my father's shouts. They had faded long ago. And this mist descended all around me, and the shadowed shapes lurked in every corner. I stopped forward, one hand reaching fearfully into the fog, and the wolf in the mist leapt forth, its jaws opened wide to devour me. And then everything went black. The next thing I remembered, I awoke in my own bed, my father humming from the kitchen. I don't know how I got there or what became of the wolf, but I still can remember its deathly white teeth. What do you think?
True. From what I've seen recently, doesn't sound too far.
How does Eliza vote? Because
No.
it only really matters if
We have an established order here.
No, you're going as the order.
there is an order, but I think, right?
Yes, we start with the boy and go around. The holy man goes first.
I'm going to say true.
I think it has a ring of truth.
Stanimir says, I agree, true. And Eliza and Arturi both vote false. False. Irina says, okay, what if it's a dream? And I it was a dream I really had. But it didn't happen to me. And Stanimir says, well, I think that might be half true, because aren't all dreams a little bit true? And Irina says, or Eliza says, shut the fuck up. I win. I won. Of course it's false. A dream is false. No?
Feels as if it's an experience that she had.
They happened to her just in a dream.
How do
Okay,
you know
everybody
you're not-
just take their items back. Just take their thing. We all heard good stories. It's too difficult to figure out. I can't believe we've actually never had this happen before. She bitterly picks up her spyglass. I mean, it was fun. Fine. Arturi has the last couple kind of chuckles, and he says, okay, well, I must be off. I'll see you all later. Maybe, sometime. I have been selfish tonight. Pushed my fortunes as far as I dare. But I can't remain any longer. Goodbye.
Safe travels.
And he says, or Stanimir says, okay, well, before you go, and he raises a cup, Viva Leon! And they all shout the same. They say the same to you. And drink some more of their watered down wine. And by this time you feel like it may be time for you to get going as well.
Ooh.
It's nice and warm from the wine for those who've been having it, but also tea as well. What do you do?
How late is it?
Yeah.
You think it'll be about a half hour's walk back to the crossroads, and you reckon by the position of the moon in the sky that that's about the time you have.
Oh,
So we should head to the gallows? Is that what we're
yeah. What direction did Arturi leave in?
He went farther up the path.
So not in the same direction we're going?
No.
Should we... Are we, like, in a spot where I can whisper to people and not be overheard by...
Yeah, Eliza and Stanimir seem to be talking amongst themselves and with the others at this point.
Should we leave one by one, or should we... We don't have much time, but we can't be followed.
Doesn't it look stranger if we don't all leave together?
Yeah. They know we are going towards town. Why not just say that we are headed off?
Well, we
did
want to
say
have
we
a
were going to
spot to
sleep.
sleep.
Oh, that's true.
We should get set up to sleep and then sneak off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could say that I'm staying behind while you go gather things, wood. I don't know.
It does seem like activity is dying down a bit around camp.
Yeah, if you're the last to leave, then you could turn into some creature and...
That's sort of what I was thinking.
Well, where shall we sleep? Are there quarters?
There's not even eighths. You can sleep on the floor, right in front of the fire. The fire is warm, and the embers will keep you that way throughout the night.
Yeah, we don't have anything like a tent, do we?
No.
Okay.
I do not like sleeping out in the open. I shall find some place more private to sleep. And so I like...
Yes, I should carry the ladies' bags.
And I say, come, Eric.
Right.
And try to find, is there like an area with some trees or something to kind of duck behind?
We'll see you in the morning, everyone.
Yes.
All of you guys roll stealth checks. Not you yet.
Oh, right.
16.
15.
15.
You don't believe that you were observed or followed. And what is your plan, Rowan?
Well, my initial plan was kind of foolishly assuming that we had a tent or some kind of shelter. So yeah, I guess while while they're heading off.
You do have a tent that you can pitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd pitch the tent and kind of make a lot of hay about like getting things ready, and if anyone asks where they are, I'm just say, Father Esquivel.
You cast create hay.
Yeah, exactly. Father Esquivel went to get wood, and Eric said he thought he saw a stream nearby and is getting drinking water, and they'll all be coming back.
We're all making night soil.
Eliza says, is there anything I can get for you?
Oh, no, that's too kind of you, but, company, hospitality, warm fire, all delights that we were not expecting to be met with, so you've done more than enough already.
Well, we do have a rule. You must walk at least 50 paces from camp when you make your business.
Oh, of course.
Any direction is fine.
Yeah, always bury it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, not so much. Just, kind of, as long as it's 50 feet away, anything goes.
Well, you tried to be polite.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, good night then.
Good night. Sleep well.
I shall. I'm right over here.
Wonderful. Good to know you're there.
She backs away politely.
All right, bye now. They close the tent flap.
Like the little zipper.
Yeah. If there was a deadbolt, I would.
And then...
I'm going to wild shape into a cat that looks exactly like Morrigan.
Okay.
And kind of scamper outside while, telepathically communicating with the other not cat but not real cat. Let's have a changing of the guard situation here.
Sure. So you meet back on the road that you entered on shortly before you got to the Tserpool camp, and the pallid moon is pretty low in the sky at this point. There's a weak kind of silvery glow that it's casting on the very misty landscape below it. The very old trees sort of loom on either side of the road, and you do see the kind of gnarled branches reaching out over the road. It's not a particularly friendly road to be on, you discover for not the first time. As the witching hour, as it were, approaches, there is kind of an eerie stillness to the whole thing. You feel like a million years away from the revelry and the events at the camp. Much more like the kind of journey that you've been on for the last few days. You almost feel like even the rustling and squelching of the leaves under your boots can't be heard anymore. It's so quiet. But after about a half hour of walking, you get back to the crossroads, now illuminated beneath this pale, sickly moon, and the mist-shrouded headstones that you noted earlier in the day now seem to be almost like hunkered creatures in the gloom next to the gallows. And that frayed rope, which you remember there before, still dangles in the air. And this squat, cloaked silhouette stands beside the gallows, waiting for you.
Madame Eva?
At a distance of like 60 paces, she's not responding.
Can we send Blue to take a look?
I don't think you have that kind of relationship with Blue.
Oh.
I mean, we are expecting her to be there.
Yeah,
so
let's go.
Let's go.
As you get a little bit closer, you hear a raspy voice. What did I say to you before you departed my tent?
Make sure we weren't followed. Tell no one our
Tell
secrets.
no one the secret.
Okay, good. I can be relatively assured that it is in fact you. And now you see her silently turn to face the unmarked graveyard near the gallows, and you see once again the same phenomenon that you observed, that Rowan at least observed in the village of Barovia. These green figures arise and begin marching from the graves up in a single direction, turning right at the crossroads rather than left to the Tsar pool. And Madame Eva turns to you and says, each spirit in this march shares a common trait. Can you suppose what that might be?
They died at Strahd's hand.
They all opposed Strahd, yes. And she follows them with her eyes. And where do you suppose they might be headed?
Ravenloft.
She nods and waits for a long time until the last of the figures are sort of departed out of view.
Did we have to worry about them overhearing us?
I still am afraid of other intruders. She says, This is the precipice that you walk. There are many paths among the webs of fate, but I can only see what may be. Let's look at the lady laughing. We don't need that part. If you wish, I will tell you what I can see. I can see what may be, but not what will. I can tell you what you must do, but I cannot ensure that you succeed. But if you fail, this shall be your resting place. A place with no legacy, no glory, no love. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Yes.
If you wish to put aside this task and take up lives here, eking out an existence, or even enjoying one if you can, no soul would blame you. There is no shame in flight from a foe like him. But if you wish me to read your futures, I will do that for you.
Please.
Know that I can read your palms. I can gaze into my crystal ball. I can tell you the face of your true love, the path to good health in your elder years, or the success you might find in a trade or profession. or I can read these cards. And if I do, I will set you upon a path that ends only when your foe is vanquished.
I would
Come
know.
this far.
I did not come here to live in the shadows and eke out an existence.
I would know what the future holds. I say read the cards.
I don't think there's any option other than the cards for me.
And you, boy?
Let's see.
Very well. Okay. Let's see if this fucks everything up. All right. So she seats herself on the ground, right on the earth of the cemetery, and reaches into her cloak and takes out 3 candles that she places in front of her, kind of stakes into the ground, and waving her hand, lights them all at the same time. She looks to your faces and says, "A cheap trick." Then she takes out this box and shuffles the cards, which you did, and sets the box out on the ground between the candles. You notice also a velvet pouch on the ground beside her that wasn't there a moment before. She looks at you looking at it and then says, "The task that you seek of me is no small boon. In exchange, I would ask for a boon of my own."
Of course. Then
Don't have very much.
Let me explain. Here, let me actually find a pouch.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, there we go. In this bag are 10 gold pieces. My great-grandniece, Arabelle, she celebrates her 10th name day in 2 days' time in Vallaki. And, well, I want to get her a gift. Now, I know, thanks to my illustrious powers, that you are headed to Vallaki. I'm quite unable to make the journey myself, so I would ask only that you use what's in this pouch to purchase a toy for her at Blinsky Toys. Those are her favorites. And she stays in the Vistani camp, southwest of Vallaki, so just pick up whatever you think, whatever you think is nice, and bring it to her there. And you can keep any remaining gold in exchange for this task.
Sounds more than fair.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think you'll enjoy speaking with Arabelle. She is a most interesting child. So she sets up the deck in front of her and closes her eyes and puts her right hand over it. I'll use my left. The flames from the candles sort of dim, and the swirl as these patterns, the sounds that seem to be coming from her lips are unfamiliar to you. She's barely speaking above a whisper, and there's an almost palpable tension that spreads through the air, and you hear the sound of these rustling trees and the rippling river off in the distance. everything gets more solid here and real in this moment. So first, she draws 3 cards from the top of the deck.
Oh God.
I'll just take a few more than 3. And places them down with the second laid above its partners. Then she draws 2 more. The first placed below, and the last in the center. And now the shadows on the headstones start to kind of sway, like everyone's leaning in to see what happens here. But the air is completely still in the cemetery, and no light seems to be intruding the scene at all, just the light of the candles. The shadows swirl kind of beyond the graves and beyond the immediate perimeter of this scene. But here, there is light, and you can see the cards clearly. She moves her hand to the first card, the leftmost card. She closes her eyes and tilts her head, almost like she's listening to something. The lights swirl from the candles and then shift, and their color changes to this deep, piercing blue. This card tells of history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. So let me get my card that says what all the cards mean.
Is this the past, present, future goals, obstacles?
Basically.
Cross spread?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
hell
Celtic
yeah.
cross.
That's what it's called.
She flips the card. So you can see a haughty guardsman, or priest rather, and pointing at a guardsman, she says, "The 9 of glyphs, the traitor." This guard has a knife behind his back. You can see her pupils moving very quickly from side to side, almost like she's reading a text rather than looking at this card. "I see the ancient foe of an old and noble house. The lost soul will lead you to him." She then moves to the second card, the top of the cross. And again, she closes her eyes and listens once more. The candles flare, and their color now changes from blue to this fierce, almost cheery yellow. "This card tells of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope." 5 of swords. Okay. So this is an armored warrior clutching a cracked iron sword, and his face has this big helmet on, almost like the Roman centurion. The 5 of swords, the Myrmidon. And her eyes, again, seem to be looking almost past the card, reading something that exists in the darkness. Look for a den of wolves in the hills, overlooking a mountain lake. The treasure belongs to Mother Night. Her hand now moves to the third card, the right arm of the cross, and her eyelids close, completely trance-like, and her lips are pursed. The candlelight, like a heartbeat, sort of vanishes and pulses back in and returns in this fierce, nova-like burning white. It almost burns to look at it, and her eyes again snap open and look very determined as she says, "This is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of pure sunlight." Okay, 8 of glyphs. The light reveals a third illustration, a solemn-faced man clad in holy vestments, one hand clutching the chain of a bronze censer that billows burning smoke. And she looks over to you, Father Esquivel. The Eight of Glyphs, the Bishop. What you seek lies in a pile of treasure beyond a set of amber doors. And she moves now to the fourth card at the bottom of the cross. And once again, you almost swear that she's leaning like to listen. And she traces small circles on the back of the card, humming a bit. The flames leap up on their wicks, and now they look like a deep violet color and shoot off sparks and embers. This card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. Okay. The mists. So it looks like a graveyard that is choked with fog, and this entrance is sealed with a iron fence. A Vistana wanders this land alone, searching for her mentor. She does not stay in one place for long. Seek her out at St. Markovia's Abbey, near the mists. And finally, she moves her hand to the fifth card, and she almost recoils at the touch. Her brow furrows, but then the wrinkles relax, and behind her the shadows start to get closer and closer to the candlelight until the light is almost swallowed up by the dark. And now her voice is scarcely above a whisper. Your enemy is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortality. When the hour of judgment arrives, this card will lead you to him. Marionette. Her hand trembles above the card for a moment. It's barely visible to you through the smoke and the murk. And you see this crowned, grinning figure clad in finery, reaching for a goblet of wine, but his hands are kind of wooden puppet limbs, lashed to strings. Look to great heights. Find the beating heart of the castle. He waits nearby. And as the last syllable leaves her lips, she freezes and then rocks backward, her eyes rolling back until her whites gleam like pearls in the dark. And then she snaps back, and the candlelight burns down to its ordinary, typical glow. And then the sound of the world around you returns, the wind through the trees, the distant hooting of an owl, kind of faraway lapping of the river Ivlis against the banks. And again, silver moonlight pierces the edge of the cemetery, and you realize you don't even know if you've been breathing this whole time since the ceremony and the reading began. And she only looks at you with these dark, heavy eyes.
Well, I don't know that we can quite understand all of it yet, but I know it's a gift you've given us, and I thank you for that.
I do hope it'll help. As far as the fates of the future are concerned, I am neutral. But as far as wresting freedom and life from the clutches from him. I am an ally.
I'm grateful.
I will stay here, but you can go back. And the whole walk back to the camp, to your tents, or wherever you're going to set the tents up, what she said and what the cards told you keep replaying themselves over and over in your heads. You can't say that you understand what any of that meant, but you could tell that she would not have elaborated, even if she could. That said, you have been given a gift and a direction forward, but as she said, she doesn't know if you'll succeed and can't will you to take these actions. She can just see one possibility. When you awake the following morning, Stanimir invites you to breakfast. The fire by now is cold, but they use the coals to make some polenta and a few root vegetables and some cabbage rolls. It is pretty good. Eliza says hello as well and seems to be glad that you're well and happy and fed. And you get back on the road, back again to the crossroads, but this time to turn for a 2-day journey up to Valaki. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
I assume this counts as a long rest.
That does count as a long rest.
Hell yeah.
Boy, that was really fun.
Wow.
Get my wild shapes back.
Thank you to folks watching at home. We'll be back next Monday around the same time. I don't know what other Twitch D&D
No, we won't be here on
stuff
Monday.
happens. Yeah, we will. Why not?
Because we'll be at Disneyland.
Oh, shit. That's right. The following Monday, though, we will be
Yeah.
here. Next Monday, we'll be at Disneyland.
Cool.
The following Monday, we will be here.
You gonna live stream from Disneyland?
I don't know if we're allowed. Only from the bathroom. We'll be back in 2 Mondays to pick up the journey. That was super. That was super fun.
That was
Now
a
we
great-
just got to figure out
Great session.
how
Yeah.
all this stuff happens.
You should take a picture so that we don't forget.
Yeah, don't worry. I need to figure out what all of this means. Those of you watching who want to tune in again, please, follow and stuff. I don't know what D&D Mondays are like on Twitch. I don't know if we're like competing with some very famous thing or
Any of the
nothing.
big ones, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, this is all we got to offer. All right. See y'all next time.
This is
Bye-bye.
us.
Bye.
Not much is known about the sharp-featured androgynous figure come to Barovia in a high-coloured violet coat with closely shorn hair. Rowan Domnalik makes himself of use to the nobles they travel with, entertaining with a classic tune and his high ethereal voice, not to mention a good bit of gossip with the ladies of the court. Rowan may well imitate the aloof manner of a courtier, but just beneath a practiced facade of calm rages a great anger. And there's something else about them too, something unsettling, ancient, and cold.
Father Esquivel is an ordained priest, sent far from home on missionary work. Though his vestments are threadbare, his hygiene limited, and his ecclesiastical knowledge a bit lacking, he is empathetic and friendly enough. He's on the younger side for a priest, but whatever his life before the cloth, it must weigh on him heavily, for physically he seems aged well beyond his years. He claims to be happy in company and sharing the difficulties of the road, but you might get the sense his smile is feigned.
Even while petting her ornery pet Pekingese Monto, Lady Lan never smiles. A severe Chinese lady dressed in elaborate silks and other finery, Lady Lan never seems to have a hair or jewel out of place. Despite having traveled many months through the deserts of the Silk Road and faced all manner of challenges, you will never see her with a smudge in her makeup. And yet, anyone who spends enough time with her will notice an anger glimmering behind this otherwise impenetrable exterior. Something must give.
Erik von Eggenberg is a pale young boy, his skin almost translucent in the dim light. His eyes, the color of a stormy sea, hold a lifetime of unspoken sorrows, fixed upon the arabesques of the moldering wallpaper, seeking patterns that do not exist. His hair, a messy jet black patch, appears to be thinning. He moves with the jerky grace of a puppet, his limbs seemingly not entirely his own. Clutched firmly in his hand is a ruby brooch, a glimmer of hope in a life filled with darkness. Whispers follow him, telling of a noble lineage abandoned, a sinister apprenticeship, and a mysterious benefactor offering salvation in a distant land. There is an unsettling aura that surrounds him, a disquiet that hints at secrets best left undisturbed.